Hey guys, Jared Wiggins here at Techno RC. Today we're going to be talking about our new rear end settings for the 2.2 buggies with the wider pivot. So let's get started. Taking a closer look at the wide pivot 2.2 rear end parts, we have a new rear arm that's shorter to match a new C and D block. As you can see, I have a 2.2 standard pivot D block here, and you can see how much wider the new settings are. Looking at this setup, the difference is the inner hinge pin moves outwards. With this change, the rear end has more support, especially on throttle, a smoother rotation on mid-corner to exit, and an increase in stability. This is translated to an increase in corner speed and ease of driving in all conditions that we've tested in. This setup also has been tested by some of you guys in the public, as well as us originally, by using the Truggy C and D blocks and the old 2.0 arms dremeled to fit and give us a very similar setup to this. And that is how we tested it and what led us to this. It's important to mention that because those parts, while they do accomplish a similar setup, are slightly different in some important ways. The first way is that these arms, the shock locations are set to match the same places as they were on the standard 2.2 arms. With the 2.0 setup, the shock locations were not in the same spot, so your inside hole is actually the outside hole on this. So it's important to note that there is a difference when you're switching from that setup to here. If you're just using the standard rear end that comes with the kit, these parts just bolt right up. You use the same settings here. Your sway bar is also in the same spot, unlike the 2.0 arm, and everything bolts right on. The only difference you need to note is the rear hub spacing. We've noticed we've liked a little less dog bone angle, especially now with the increased amount of support from the wider pivot. We haven't needed to run as much angle, so we've been using our hub in a more rearward setting. With this, we've added 1 millimeter of adjustment, and we've also moved the hub backwards, so the rearmost position is 3 millimeters farther back than it is on the standard arm. So take that into consideration when installing these parts if you want the same wheelbase setting. If you want to match what we've been liking, we've been using 3 millimeters in the front of the hub and 1 millimeter in the back. The other important difference with this setup in the C and D blocks versus the Truggy blocks are the D block fits the chassis better. The buggy has a narrower chassis than the truck does, so when you're using the truck block, it doesn't sit all the way down or key in properly. That's why we've made new blocks for this. And the C and D are both 1 millimeter wider than the truck blocks to accommodate this arm, and that's just what we found to be the best width when we were testing. The other difference is in the C blocks we have a different height. So the 1 dot block is a millimeter lower than the Truggy block, and the 2 dot is 2 millimeters lower. We use the 1 dot in pretty much all conditions, and it's important to start here because this with the 2 dot D block matches the standard 2.2 settings with the toe and the anti-squat. So when you bolt these blocks on for the rear pivot setup, you can just match the pills you preferred with your current setup. Where with the truck block setup, it had more anti-squat and some different widths, so it was difficult to get the pills to match where you wanted them with the standard pivot. One other setup important note is when you're running this pivot, the only thing we've really changed on our setup is moving this rear camber link. We have 2 rows of holes, and these are our new D length towers, but the standard tower also has them. It's important to go from the inside row to the outside row because you want your inner camber link to be above or slightly outward of your rear hinge pin. So with the standard pivot, we would run it on the inside setting, but now that we've widened this, we want to widen this also to get the car to work properly in all conditions. So besides that, that's really the only setup change we've made. We've also, like I said earlier, liked running a little less dog bone angle and the hub farther back. But otherwise, your standard setup should translate to this well, just with an improvement in drivability and speed. So check out the part numbers. They'll be linked in the description below, and let us know if you have any questions. Thanks, guys.